Everybody loves a good zombie movie, but if the power grid ever really went dark, most of the gear people brag about online would become dead weight fast. Lasers need batteries, fancy electronics fail. Complicated setups get heavy, fragile, and hard to maintain when you are tired, wet, cold, and working with whatever supplies are left in front of you. That is why a real survival firearm lineup has to be built around boring things that actually matter. Common ammunition, simple maintenance, proven actions, available magazines, durable parts, guns that still make sense when the bench, the toolbox, and the clean range lane are all gone. So today, we are keeping this list grounded. No fantasy loadouts, no mall ninja accessories, no internet hype dressed up as preparedness. Just 15 hard-use firearms that are easy to run, realistic to feed, and tough enough to earn a place in a serious emergency-ready setup. Number 15 is the Ruger 1022 Takedown. This is the little lifesaver that lets you carry a mountain of rimfire ammunition without feeling like you packed a cinder block on your back. Sturm, Ruger and Company introduced the original 1022 back in 1964, and the idea was simple but brilliant. Build a reliable, adult-sized rimfire rifle that did not feel like a flimsy kid's toy. It did not take long before that rifle became the benchmark for semi-auto rimfire dependability. Then, in 2012, Ruger took that proven platform and solved a serious modern bug-out problem. How do you carry a real survival rifle without walking around advertising to the whole neighborhood what you have? Ruger answered that with a simple takedown system that lets the rifle separate into compact sections quickly. What you end up with is a low-profile packing rifle built around one of the most trusted rimfire platforms ever made. The rifle uses a strong heat-treated aluminum alloy receiver, which keeps the overall package light without making it feel cheap. The 18.5-inch cold hammer forged barrel is offered in either standard alloy steel or a tougher matte stainless option for better weather resistance. Ruger also uses an adjustable lockup system that helps maintain a consistent fit when the rifle is taken apart and put back together. That matters when you are relying on the same rifle after repeated takedown and reassembly. It runs on Ruger's proven flush-fit BX1 rotary magazine, uses a traditional single-stage trigger, and comes from the factory with a scope base adapter for optics. You also still get adjustable iron sights, which is exactly what I like to see on a rifle that claims to be survival-ready. In a true survival role, the 1022 Takedown is about mobility, simplicity, and ammunition efficiency. It packs small, lets you carry plenty of .22 long rifle, and is easy for almost any shooter to handle. Depending on the version, you are usually looking at roughly $450 to $600, which keeps it affordable for what it brings to the table. Number 14 is the Smith & Wesson Model 6 17 and 22 long rifle. Think of this thing like a stainless steel vault that gives you rimfire training capacity without depending on magazine springs, feed lips, or a semi-auto action to keep the gun running. The roots of this revolver go straight back to Smith & Wesson's famous K-frame line, especially the blued carbon steel K22 masterpiece from the 1940s. That gun was designed for competitors and outdoorsmen who wanted a serious match-grade rimfire revolver that felt like their full-power duty guns. In 1990, Smith & Wesson modernized that concept into the Model 6 17 by moving the gun into strong stainless steel construction. Then, a few years later, they pushed the design even further by offering a 10-shot cylinder. That was a big deal. Instead of the old 6-shot rimfire format, shooters now had modern semi-auto-like capacity in a manual revolver system that is about as straightforward as handguns get. This wheel gun is built like a bunker. It uses a medium satin-finished K-frame made from stainless steel. The 10-shot cylinder and the barrel, offered in common 4-inch and 6-inch configurations, are both made to give the gun a steady, balanced feel. Depending on the version, the weight can land in that serious steel revolver range, and that weight is exactly why the gun sits so calmly in the hand. You get a smooth, classic double-action and single-action trigger system, an internal safety system, and the kind of mechanical feel that has made Smith & Wesson revolvers respected for generations. For sights, Smith & Wesson did not cheap out with basic fixed notches. You get a clear front sight setup and an adjustable rear sight arrangement that lets you fine-tune your point of impact with real precision. In a survival setting where ammunition quality may be all over the map, the Model 617 earns its keep. If one rimfire round does not fire, you simply press the trigger again. No tap rack routine, no magazine issue, no stoppage drill. A rugged 10-shot rimfire revolver like this usually lands somewhere around $850 to $1,050, depending on condition, configuration, and availability. Number 13 is the Glock 17. This is one of the closest things you will find to a universal survival sidearm. It is built to run dirty, handle moisture, and keep working with parts and magazines that are easier to locate than just about any other full-size 9mm handgun. Back in the early 1980s, the Austrian military wanted a new service pistol to replace its aging sidearms. Into that competition stepped Gaston Glock, an engineer who understood advanced polymers but had no traditional firearms manufacturing background. That outsider perspective changed everything. Instead of following old-school design habits, Glock cut away unnecessary complexity. The Glock 17 used a high-strength polymer frame instead of heavy all-steel construction, and Glock dramatically reduced the parts count compared with many traditional service pistols of that era. By attacking weight and mechanical complexity at the same time, Glock created what would become one of the most widely used 9mm handguns in history. The pistol is built around a durable impact-resistant polymer frame with Gen 5 texturing and interchangeable back straps to help fit different hands. The steel slide is CNC machined and finished with a corrosion-resistant treatment to stand up to hard use in bad weather. Inside, it uses a striker-fired operating system with multiple built-in safeties. It feeds from 17-round magazines and comes with a precision barrel and high-visibility sights. In any long-term disruption, commonality matters just as much as performance. The Glock 17 has real value because it is everywhere. Parts, holsters, magazines, sights, and accessories are more common for this pistol than for most handguns on the planet. That makes it easier to maintain over time, especially when replacement parts become the real currency. A Gen 5 Glock 17 usually runs around $530 to $620, which keeps it in that practical, budget-friendly zone for a serious emergency kit. Number 12 is the Smith & Wesson Model 686 Plus. This is a smooth, well-balanced piece of American stainless steel that can help even a newer or nervous shooter put rounds where they need to go. In the late 1970s, law enforcement officers using traditional medium K-frame revolvers started running into a problem. Heavy use of high-pressure .357 Magnum duty ammunition could cause wear, and in some cases, forcing cone damage over time. Smith & Wesson answered that problem in 1980 with the stronger L-frame platform. It was slightly larger than the K-frame, with more strength in the frame and barrel area, but it still balanced well enough for duty use. That design helped tame the pressure and recoil of Magnum cartridges, while keeping the revolver practical. Later, Smith & Wesson took the 686 and pushed it into the Plus configuration by adding a 7th chamber to the cylinder. For a revolver, that extra round is a real advantage. The 686 Plus is built on a stainless steel L-frame with a 4-inch or 6-inch barrel. That extra barrel weight helps manage recoil and keeps the gun tracking smoothly during aimed fire. It uses a double-action and single-action trigger system with an exposed hammer and internal safety, and it feeds from a 7-shot cylinder. The high-visibility sights make alignment quick and clear, especially under pressure. Where this revolver really makes sense in a survival conversation is ammunition flexibility. The 686 Plus can run full-power .357 Magnum for serious field use, and it can also shoot softer .38 Special for easier control and lower recoil. When ammunition supply is unpredictable, that kind of flexibility is not just convenient, it is practical. A premium American-made revolver like this usually costs around $850 to $1,050. Number 11 is the Sig Sauer P320-M17. This is 21 rounds of military-grade confidence in a Coyote Tan workhorse that was built for hard service conditions. In the 2010s, the United States military pushed the modular handgun system program to replace the aging Beretta M9. The military had a real logistical problem to solve. They needed one handgun system that could fit soldiers with different hand sizes and adapt to different mission requirements. Sig Sauer won that contract in 2017 with the P320 platform, which became the M17. The key idea was the fire control unit. Instead of treating the outer polymer grip as the heart of the system, Sig built the serialized firearm around a removable stainless steel internal trigger module. That means the grip size, slide length, and overall footprint can be changed around the same core system. For soldiers, that helped solve fit and logistics. For survival-minded owners, it gives the pistol a level of modularity that most older designs simply do not offer. The M17 is built around that stainless steel fire control unit, seated inside a durable Coyote tan polymer grip module. It has ambidextrous controls, an optics-ready stainless steel slide with a tough PVD finish, and a 4.7-inch barrel. The pistol uses a striker-fired trigger, includes night sights, and commonly ships with one 17-round magazine and two 21-round magazines. What makes the M17 stand out as a survival handgun is standardization. Since this pistol has been widely issued across the U.S., armed forces, parts, magazines, and support equipment are far more likely to exist in official supply channels and surplus circles than some obscure handgun nobody stocked deeply. In a long-term emergency, that kind of support matters. At most local shops, this military-issue, modular 9mm pistol usually costs around $650 to $750. Number 10 is the Remington 870 Police Magnum. This is a dead simple classic defensive shotgun that has spent decades proving it can handle mud, grime, neglect, and hard-duty use without acting delicate. Back in 1950, Remington wanted to solve a major shotgun problem. They needed a pump-action design that was strong, smooth, reliable, and affordable enough to build at scale. The result was the legendary 870 platform. The standard express models became popular with hunters and everyday shooters. But the Police Magnum was built as the tougher law enforcement brother. It came from a dedicated assembly process with tighter inspections, heavier springs, and an all-steel receiver. The idea was simple: build a shotgun that could ride in a police cruiser for years, absorb rough handling, and fire thousands of high-pressure defensive loads without coming apart. The heart of this shotgun is its rugged receiver, CNC machined from a solid block of high-strength carbon steel. Unlike some entry-level shotguns that use plastic trigger guards, the Police Magnum uses a strong aluminum trigger housing with a heavy-duty mechanical trigger pack. It also runs on dual action bars, which help prevent twisting and binding when you work the pump under stress. The reason the 870 remains relevant is mechanical simplicity. There is not much to overthink, and there is not much to fail. It can handle rough conditions and mixed quality shells better than a lot of more complicated platforms. A solid law enforcement spec Police Magnum usually runs between $650 and $850, depending on condition and availability. Number 9 is the Benelli M4 Super 90. This is the high end of semi-auto combat shotgun engineering, built to run heavy defensive loads in nasty conditions without being finicky. In 1998, the United States Marine Corps put out a call for a new state-of-the-art semi-automatic combat shotgun. At the time, many semi-autos had a reputation for getting unreliable when dirty or when shooters added heavy accessories that changed the balance of the gun. Benelli's Italian engineers solved that problem for the Joint Service Combat Shotgun project with a different operating system. Instead of relying on sensitive long-stroke gas systems or recoil designs that could be thrown off by added weight, they created a short, self-cleaning dual-piston setup. That system survived brutal military testing and earned the shotgun the M1014 designation. The core of the M4 is the Argo system, which uses two short-stroke self-cleaning gas pistons positioned just ahead of the chamber. That setup cycles the action with serious speed and reliability. The receiver is made from lightweight aircraft-grade aluminum, and the 18.5-inch barrel wears either a durable, matte blued finish or an anti-corrosive phosphate finish. It uses a crisp, single-stage mechanical trigger pack, a crossbolt safety, military-grade ghost ring sights, and a factory Picatinny rail for optics. Depending on configuration, it usually feeds from a 5+1 or 7+1 tubular magazine. Under pressure, a pump shotgun depends on the shooter running the action correctly every single time. Short stroking can happen, especially when adrenaline gets involved. The M4 removes that variable by cycling automatically with each trigger pull, keeping the rhythm more consistent in high-stress situations. With that level of Italian engineering and military pedigree, the price usually sits between $2,000 and $2,400. Number 8 is the Colt CR6920 M4 carbine on the AR-15 platform. This is the backbone rifle concept for a serious emergency setup because it gives you simple ergonomics, easy handling, and access to the biggest rifle parts ecosystem on the planet. The AR-15 story goes back to Eugene Stoner's lightweight rifle designs in the late 1950s, but Colt is the company that turned the platform into a military and law enforcement icon. For decades, Colt supplied the M16 rifle and M4 carbine to the U.S. military. The civilian market CR6920 was built to answer a specific demand. Law enforcement officers and private citizens wanted access to a duty-grade carbine built with the dimensional standards and hard-use expectations people associate with service-style rifles. For a long time, this rifle set the standard for what a dependable defensive carbine was supposed to look like. The CR6920 is built on forged 7075 T6 aircraft-grade aluminum upper and lower receivers, pinned together for a solid fit. Internally, it runs the proven direct impingement gas system, paired with a heavy-duty magnetic particle-inspected bolt carrier group. The 16.1-inch barrel is made from chrome moly vanadium steel with a chrome-lined bore and a 1-in-7 twist rate that can stabilize a broad range of bullet weights. If everything around you gets complicated, you want a rifle that is not complicated to support. The CR6920 uses standard 5.56 ammunition and follows the massively supported AR-style design. That means maintenance parts, magazines, accessories, and basic support are far more realistic to find than with niche rifles. In today's market, this American service-style carbine generally runs around $1,000 to $1,150. Number 7 is the Palmetto State Armory AK-47 GF3. This is the mud-loving sledgehammer of the list. The kind of rifle design known for tolerating carbon buildup, bad weather, and rough handling better than most people expect. The original AK-47 architecture was developed by Mikhail Kalashnikov in the mid-1940s to solve a very specific battlefield problem. The military needed a rifle that could work in mud, snow, dust, and freezing conditions, even when used by troops who did not have much training or time for careful maintenance. For a long time, American shooters who wanted that classic AK reliability had to deal with expensive imports or questionable parts kit builds. Palmetto State Armory changed that with the GF3 generation. Instead of building a cheap domestic AK around weak cast components, PSA leaned into forged steel parts where it mattered. That helped address the durability complaints that followed some early American-made AK rifles and brought a rugged, affordable survival platform into the mainstream. The GF3 is built around a 1mm stamped steel receiver. Inside, it uses a hammer-forged steel front trunnion, bolt, and bolt carrier. Those pressure-bearing parts are critical to the rifle's long-term strength. It operates with the classic long-stroke gas piston system, which keeps fouling and debris away from the chamber area better than many other designs. The 16-inch barrel is made from proprietary gas nitride treated steel with a 1-in-10 twist rate to stabilize heavier bullets. It also uses a traditional single-stage AK trigger pack, includes a side-mount scope rail for optics, and keeps the classic adjustable notch iron sights. Feeding comes from standard 30-round double-column magazines. In a long-term emergency, maintenance becomes a real problem, and that is where the PSA AK-47 GF3 makes its case. It is built to keep running even when cleaning is minimal and conditions are ugly. Thanks to PSA's budget-minded approach, this rifle usually falls between $650 and $800. Number 6 is the Henry Big Boy X model. This is a smooth cycling synthetic lever gun that blends old-school reliability with modern practical features. Lever-action rifles have been part of American survival culture since the late 1800s, mainly because they are slim, reliable, and fast to run once you know the pattern. But traditional lever guns came with compromises. They usually lacked easy mounting options for lights or optics, and many had to be loaded slowly through the front of the magazine tube. Henry Repeating Arms modernized that old formula with the Big Boy X model. They swapped the classic wood furniture for tough synthetic furniture, added a modern side-loading gate, and included a threaded barrel. That brought the lever action into the 21st century, while keeping the simple manual action that made the platform famous in the first place. This carbine is built around a solid blued steel receiver housed in a durable black synthetic stock. The business end uses a 17.4-inch round steel barrel, factory threaded 5/8 by 24. That gives the rifle compatibility with suppressors or other legal muzzle devices where allowed. Out of the box, it comes with high-visibility fiber optic front and rear sights, a smooth single-stage mechanical trigger, and an M-LOK and Picatinny rail forend that can accept modern lights or optics. The Big Boy X model also stands out because it can run both .357 Magnum and .38 Special. That gives it compatibility with common revolver ammunition and lets you simplify the ammunition you keep on hand. For a survival setup, using one ammunition family across multiple firearms can be a serious advantage. To add this modernized and reliable lever action platform to your kit, you are usually looking at around $800 to $950. Number 5 is the Springfield Armory M1A. This is a rugged, piston-driven powerhouse with deep military roots and serious long-range capability. The M1A is the direct civilian descendant of the M14, which served as the standard U.S. military service rifle in the late 1950s and 1960s. The original military goal was ambitious. They wanted the reliability and operating strength of the M1 Garand's action, but with a detachable box magazine and a harder-hitting, more compact cartridge. The military eventually moved toward lighter carbines for dense jungle fighting, but Springfield Armory kept the steel and wood battle rifle concept alive for civilian shooters. For survivalists who do not want to give up raw power or distance, the M1A has remained a serious option. It is not the lightest rifle in the world, but it brings authority that smaller carbines simply do not. The rifle is built around a heavy-duty investment cast steel receiver, locked into either a traditional walnut stock or a rugged, weather-resistant composite stock. It uses a very reliable short-stroke gas piston system positioned under the barrel, which keeps heat, gas, and carbon away from the shooter's face and the main action area. Depending on configuration, it comes with either a match-grade 22-inch barrel or a handier 18-inch barrel, usually made from carbon steel and fitted with the signature slotted flash suppressor. The M1A feeds from robust double-column 10-round or 20-round steel box magazines. It also has an excellent two-stage mechanical trigger and military-grade click-adjustable aperture rear sights. When you are talking about defending a long-term camp or hunting larger game, smaller carbines can start to feel limited. The M1A answers that with the .308 7.62 NATO cartridge, giving you serious reach and impact at longer distances. Adding this full-power steel battle rifle to a defensive setup usually costs between $1,600 and $1,900, depending on the model. Number 4 is the Ruger American Rifle Predator. This is a straightforward bolt-action rifle with no complex gas system, no semi-auto fouling concerns, and very little to overcomplicate the job. When Sturm, Ruger and Company introduced the original Ruger American series in 2012. They shook up the bolt-action market by showing that a budget-friendly rifle could still deliver strong practical accuracy right out of the box. That was a big deal for hunters and practical shooters who wanted accuracy without premium rifle pricing. Ruger then built on that success with the Predator variant, aimed at hunters and marksmen who wanted a handier, more adaptable field rifle. More recently, the Generation 2 version pushed the platform even further by addressing the old one-size-fits-all stock problem. With a threaded medium contour barrel and adjustable stock geometry, Ruger turned a simple bolt gun into a more modular survival rifle for the modern shooter. The foundation is an upgraded synthetic stock with a distinct splatter finish that provides a solid grip. It also includes adjustable length of pull and comb height, which matters when you are trying to make the rifle fit different shooters or different optic setups. Depending on the model, the cold hammer forged barrel uses a practical field length and a spiral fluted design finished in burnt bronze Cerakote for durability. Many versions are factory threaded 5/8 by 24, making them ready for legal muzzle devices where appropriate. The rifle uses the crisp, user-adjustable Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger and feeds from dependable detachable box magazines, including AI-style or AR pattern magazines depending on caliber and model. In a long-term survival setup, practical handling matters just as much as power. The Ruger American Predator is lightweight, easy to carry, and far less tiring during long hunts, property checks, or homestead work. You can usually pick one up for about $590 to $640, making it a cost-effective hunting and camp defense rifle. Number 3 is the Winchester Model 1895. This is an old-school watchtower rifle built around serious full-power cartridges and classic mechanical reliability. By the late 1890s, militaries around the world were leaving black powder behind and moving toward high-pressure pointed Spitzer bullets. That created a major issue for traditional tube-fed lever actions. A pointed bullet resting against the primer of the cartridge in front of it could create a safety concern under recoil. John Browning solved that problem with the Winchester Model 1895 by designing a fixed box magazine under the receiver. That allowed Winchester to build a lever-action rifle capable of safely handling powerful military-style cartridges with pointed bullets. The rifle went on to serve with the Russian Army during World War I and became famously associated with Theodore Roosevelt as a safari rifle. In a long-term survival scenario, the Model 1895 stands out because of its simple, old-school mechanical reliability. It uses a solid steel receiver and a classic walnut stock, so there are not many fragile pieces waiting to fail. The fixed box magazine keeps the rifle clean and dependable, with current 30-06 configurations commonly listed around 4 rounds of capacity. Its long 24-inch barrel provides strong, consistent accuracy for hunting or distance work. Overall, it is a rugged rifle built for the shooter who wants something mechanical, traditional, and trustworthy. The other major advantage is chambering. The Model 1895 can be found in 30-06 Springfield, a widely available and powerful cartridge that has deep roots in rural America. In a survival setting, that means ammunition may be more realistic to locate in places like hunting cabins, farmhouses, and old storage spaces. The lever-action design also keeps the rifle purely mechanical, so it can continue working when conditions are dirty and maintenance is limited. A new, historically authentic example of this John Browning steel lever-action design usually costs between $1,550 and $1,700. Number 2 is the Kel-Tec Sub-2000 Gen 3. This is an ultra-light folding backpack carbine that can share magazines with a standard sidearm, which helps keep weight down and simplifies what you have to carry. KelTec has always been known for breaking normal design rules in the name of compact utility. When the original Sub-2000 arrived, it solved a real survival problem. How do you get better stability, better accuracy, and more velocity than a handgun, while still carrying something that can disappear inside a small backpack or laptop bag? Early Sub-2000 models had one obvious weakness. Once you mounted a red dot optic on the top rail, the rifle could no longer fold the way it was meant to. KelTec fixed that on the Gen 3 by redesigning the system around a rotating fore-end. Now the rifle can fold and unfold without forcing you to remove your optic or other properly mounted gear. The defining feature of the Gen 3 is its glass-reinforced nylon chassis, which folds down to only 16.15 inches. The rotating fore-end keeps the optic out of the way during folding, which is the clever part of the whole design. Mechanically, it runs on a simple blowback operating system inside an aluminum receiver tube. The 16.15-inch barrel is threaded 1/2 by 28, giving the platform added flexibility where legal and appropriate. The Gen 3 also includes a redesigned lighter trigger pull, an updated charging handle under the buffer tube for easier manipulation, and factory configurations that accept common Glock 19 or Glock 17.9mm magazines. In a fast-moving emergency, the Sub-2000 Gen 3 stands out because it weighs right around 4¼ pounds, depending on magazine and setup. That makes it easy to carry, easy to stash in a bag, and practical when mobility matters. Retail pricing usually sits around $500 to $550, which makes it one of the more affordable magazine-sharing carbines on this list. Number 1 is the Ruger PC Carbine. This is a rugged 9mm workhorse designed around practical magazine compatibility and easy transport. Pistol caliber carbines have always had a place as handy utility guns, but older designs often locked shooters into one magazine pattern. If you could not find that exact proprietary magazine during a disruption, the rifle became a lot less useful. Sturm, Ruger and Company solved that issue with the modern PC Carbine. Ruger designed the rifle around an interchangeable magazine well system and added a quick disconnect takedown feature inspired by the legendary 1022. The result is a practical survival multi-tool that can adapt to different magazine sources instead of forcing the shooter into one narrow ecosystem. The rifle is tough without being overly heavy. It uses a glass-filled nylon stock and a CNC machined aluminum receiver for strength without unnecessary weight. The simple blowback system uses a heavy internal weight to help control recoil and muzzle rise. The quick-release takedown design lets you split the rifle into two sections in seconds for storage or transport. It also brings real flexibility with interchangeable magazine wells for common Ruger and Glock magazines, a threaded muzzle on many configurations, and easy-to-use ghost ring sights. The Ruger PC Carbine is built around compact, practical utility. Because it breaks down cleanly, it can fit into a backpack or discreet storage space without drawing attention. For a magazine-compatible survival carbine with this much flexibility, typical pricing falls around $650 to $750. When the world goes sideways, the bright lights, batteries, and high-tech accessories are usually the first things that let people down. Real survival is not about how much complicated gear you can hang off a rail. It is about having rugged tools you can trust to function consistently when reliability matters most. So now the question comes down to your plan. If you had to leave right now in a fictional worst-case survival scenario, are you choosing the featherweight folding 9mm backpack carbine? Or are you leaning on the raw power of a classic 30-06 lever-action rifle? Drop your pick in the comments and tell me which one earns a spot in your bug-out bag. Thanks for watching, and take care.